That comment, phony soldiers, was now posted yesterday afternoon on the famous Media Matters website, which is where all leftists go to find out what I say. I have a website, and I have a radio program that reaches far more people than Media Matters could ever hope to. But the critics of this program never listen to this program. They never go to my website. All they do is read Media Matters, and they get the lies and the out-of-context reports. They assume it's all true because they want it to be true, and then they start their campaigns. And this has led to me being denounced on the floor of the Senate. Howard Dean has released a statement demanding I apologize. Jim Webb on the floor of the Senate. John Kerry issued a statement. 3 congresspeople went out on the floor of the House last night, said some things. And it's starting to blossom now in the drive-by media. So this is the anatomy of a smear, and this is how it starts. Same group is trying to get Bill O'Reilly into problems because of some innocent comments that he made about going to dinner at a restaurant in Harlem. So the illustration begins with just a sample report from MSNBC whose content is produced almost exclusively by Media Matters for America and MoveOn.org. This is This Morning with the anchorette Contessa Brewer reporting on the phony soldier controversy spawned by me.
Some leading Democrats are attacking radio talk show personality Rush Limbaugh because he called soldiers who opposed the Iraq War phony. Limbaugh was criticizing the anti-war movement generally and made the comment to a caller.
It's not possible intellectually to follow these people.
No, it's not. And what's really funny is they never talk to real soldiers. They like to pull these soldiers to come up out of the blue and spout to the media.
The phony soldiers.
Democratic Senator John Kerry is demanding an apology from Limbaugh, whose comments he calls disgusting and an embarrassment.
That's really rich. John Kerry, whose own soldiers, his own personnel, his fellow soldiers on those swift boats, at least many of them, who said he was lying about his supposed heroics. This is the same John Kerry who went out and insulted the intelligence of the troops, thereby torpedoing his own 2008 presidential candidacy. His statement includes these words: "This disgusting attack from Rush Limbaugh, cheerleader for the chicken hawk wing of the far right, is an insult to American troops." I was not talking, as Contessa Brewer said here, about the anti-war movement generally. I was talking about one soldier with that phony soldier comment, Jesse Macbeth. They had exactly what I'm going to play for you. This is Michael J. Fox all over again. Media Matters had the transcript, but they selectively choose what they want to make their point. Here is, it runs about 3 minutes and 13 seconds, the entire transcript in context that led to this so-called controversy. It's not possible intellectually to follow these people.
No, it's not. And what's really funny is they never talk to real soldiers. They like to pull these soldiers to come up out of the blue and spout to the media.
The phony soldiers.
The phony soldiers. If you talk to a real soldier, they are proud to serve. They want to be over in Iraq. They understand their sacrifice, and they're willing to sacrifice for the country.
They joined to be in Iraq.
A lot of them.
It's frustrating and maddening, and it's why they must be kept in the minority. I want to thank you, Mike, for calling. I appreciate it very much. Here is a morning update that we did recently talking about fake soldiers. This is a story of who the left props up as heroes. Then they have their celebrities. One of them was Army Ranger Jesse Macbeth. Now, he was a corporal. I say in quotes. 23 years old. What made Jesse Macbeth a hero to the anti-war crowd wasn't his Purple Heart. It wasn't his being affiliated with post-traumatic stress disorder from tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. No. What made Jesse Macbeth, Army Ranger, a hero to the left was his courage, in their view, off the battlefield. Without regard to consequences, he told the world the abuses he had witnessed in Iraq. American soldiers killing unarmed civilians, hundreds of men, women, even children. In one gruesome account, translated into Arabic and spread widely across the internet, Army Ranger Jesse Macbeth describes the horrors this way: "We would burn their bodies. We would hang their bodies from the rafters in the mosque." Now, recently, Jesse Macbeth, the poster boy for the anti-war left, had his day in court. You know what? He was sentenced to 5 months in jail and 3 years probation for falsifying a Department of Veterans Affairs claim and his Army discharge record. He was in the Army. Jesse McBeth was in the Army, folks. Briefly. 44 days before he washed out of boot camp. Jesse McBeth isn't an Army Ranger, never was. He isn't a corporal, never was. He never won the Purple Heart, and he was never in combat to witness the horrors he claimed to have seen. You probably haven't even heard about this. And if you have, you haven't heard much about it. This doesn't fit the narrative and the template of the drive-by media and the Democrat Party as to who a genuine war hero is. And don't look for any retractions, by the way, not from the anti-war left, the anti-military drive-by media, or the Arabic websites that spread Jesse McBeth's lies about our troops, because the truth for the left is fiction is what serves their purpose. They have to lie about such atrocities because they can't find any that fit the template of the way they see the U.S. military. In other words, for the American anti-war left, the greatest inconvenience they face is the truth. That was the transcript from yesterday's program talking about one phony soldier. The truth for the left is fiction that serves their purpose, which is exactly the way the website Media Matters generated this story. Fiction, out of context, did so knowingly. What is amazing is that after all of the examples of how this organization is simply a Democrat Party Hillary Clinton front group, how they constantly do this, how they take things out of context and embarrass themselves and get things wrong, they still have credible so-called journalists and others, members of Congress, Democrat Party, who treat what they say as gospel. Not one member of the media, not one congressman, nobody has called our office to ask, did you really say this? And what did you mean by it? The reason this doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen, is that I have a 19-and-a-half-year record on this program of being one of the most devoted supporters of U.S. military personnel in uniform that there is. And the effort here is simply to discredit people that they consider effective and powerful on the right, ginning up and leading up into the '08 elections. They cannot beat us in the arena of ideas. They cannot challenge what we say and refute it and come out on top. So this is the anatomy of a smear, and I'll show you how it works when we come after the break. We have a bunch of sound bites here from Jim Webb, Jan Schakowsky, Frank Pallone, Democrats and senators, plus the Kerry statement that I read to you. All that coming up right after this. Don't go away, folks. Your phone call's up soon as well.
Rush Limbaugh, bringing America the truth on the EIB network.